I just had a cold thought about my life. Right now, I'm not where I would like to be. I'm not where I want to be in my life. And I take full responsibility for that. And I think about what mistakes I made in my life. And I think the biggest mistake that I made in my life is not deciding what I want to be at 5 years old. You see, time is so important in life that the earlier you decide what it is that you want to become, the earlier you can start to work to become that. And starting early is the best bet, is the best thing for anyone to do. So I recognize that at 5 years old, I did not know what I wanted to do and what I wanted to become. And that's why today I'm not where I wanted to be. Or no, I mean, because I can't, I see the flaw in what I just said. Like, I can't be upset about where I am today because I had no clear vision of where I wanted to be. So being where I am now, it's just it's all gravy. It's like, having no expectations can lead you to, contentment, right? Because you didn't expect, you aren't let down, okay? But the joy, the thief of joy is comparison, they say, and so no matter if my situation is wonderful, I still see other people and I wonder, well, doggone it, how come I'm not in that position? How come I haven't had, how come I don't have a job like them? And how come I'm not, more successful, richer, in better shape and other things like that? And I seriously think about that and think about the decisions that I made in my life, and I say, well, they started off earlier and they had a clear vision of what they wanted to do, and they worked their asses off, because hard work is absolutely essential. And I just think about, in my case, I don't recall working as hard as I should have. In particular, I had classmates who, after school, they spent their hours after school at the library doing their homework and even working at that library. And that was a stark difference from my experience of, playing basketball after school, going home, maybe doing homework, eating, sleeping, and watching television. Those are completely different activities. And even those classmates of mine who went to the library after school to do homework, which was their primary, their number one priority. Even in their homes, the television was not a big part of their life and their reality. Video games were a good distraction, but not television so much. But in my case, I had to watch all of the shows from, after school cartoons, Dennis the Menace, the Ghostbusters, DuckTales, also to late night television, The Cosby Show, A Different World, you name it. Night Court comes to mind. So many shows, so much television. I watched so much television when I was coming up. So, why I'm not more successful today, it's because I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to do, especially, at like 5 years old. And maybe I'm being too hard on myself. At 5 years old, that's too early. Okay, well then at 10, at 11, at 12 years old, I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to be. And maybe you're saying, well, you're still being too hard on yourself. Okay, well, when I graduated high school, I was 17 years old, and I still didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to be. I had some idea, and I did focus my energy, on those goals, or at that goal of, earning a college degree. But I did something that was different. I challenged myself when I went to college. I challenged myself to study harder at math than I had ever studied at math, before. And basically, I was challenging myself. I really wasn't prepared for the math that I had encountered at college, at the college level. And instead of finding the math to be easy. I found it to be difficult, and I had to, relearn, or I had to expose myself to new mathematical procedures in order to get it done, to get my degree, and which I did. But I found, even after earning my degree, that the jobs, or the things that I thought would fulfill me, I found that they eluded me. They were outside of my experience. I wasn't getting those positions. And then the only way that I can explain that is just I didn't have enough experience. I wasn't the best for the position. Those people who were 5 years old and decided they were going to study math, those people who were 10 years old, 11 or 12 years old, who discovered or decided that they were going to study math, they had the advantage. They were better than I was, because I had chosen to study math, when I was 17 years old, and they did it. They had at least 5, 10, or even 17 years, 17, well, no, not 17 years, 12 years, at least 12 years, prior to me. They had more time and more exposure. So that's what I'm thinking about. And because I'm taking full responsibility, and that's the only thing that I can say. That's the only thing that I can say. I did not decide at a younger age, what I wanted to be, and therefore where I am today is a result of that decision, or not having made that decision, and it's a result of the opportunities that are afforded to, that are given to people who basically did make that decision, or possibly their family made that decision for them, told them this is what you're going to do, and this is how you're going to spend your time. So that's what I'm thinking about. But I also think that school, I believe that for the people who have made it, who have been successful in life, I believe that you have to start early, and you need lots of work, and you have to limit your distractions. You have to be focused, very focused on your goal. And I think school is a huge distraction. The idea that just going to school will ensure your success, that idea is being torn down by all of the most influential people that I see these days. You look at Kanye West. He entitled his album The College Dropout, and where is he today? He's a billionaire. Look at Elon Musk. In an interview, Elon Musk said a college degree is not necessary. It's unnecessary for anyone to be hired by Tesla, and it isn't even a barometer. It isn't even an indicator of your future success. He said that in an interview. Essentially, we'll hire you, and we are not going to consider your education as an indicator of the success that you will have at the company. There are other factors. Elon Musk said this. Steve Jobs was not a college graduate. Mark Zuckerberg was not a college graduate. Bill Gates was not a college graduate. All of these men whose names I mentioned were not college graduates. And yet they've become wildly successful in life. I'll even throw it back to Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass, I read his book recently, and he said in his book that a college education is not an indicator, is not of success, of future success. Just because you have a college education does not mean you're intelligent, does not mean that you will be a success or be successful in life. This was Frederick Douglass in the 1800s saying this, because in his life he had proven that he, being an autodidact, a self-taught man, could elevate from being a slave, an enslaved person, to becoming a freeman, an orator, a leader. Like, his example alone in the 1800s proved that. And he stated that in his book. He said, man, if you think a college education is going to make you who you are, no, you're sorely mistaken. And that just, that is a profound truth that just resonates throughout time and space, throughout history. So that's a very, very interesting thing to think about. And so when I look at the life of, rapper Nipsey Hussle, I think to myself, well, damn, the man knew what he wanted to do when he was in the 10th grade. And he knew that college was only a distraction. So he dropped out of school and focused on his goals. And he became a success. And he proved that within over the course of 33 years of his life, that profound success can be achieved. He proved that. He demonstrated that. So we really have to, when assessing our lives, yes, of course, the idea of comparing ourselves with other people, steals our joy. And we shouldn't compare ourselves. But we have to understand, what drives success. And I believe that success is driven by work, your time, the amount of time that you put in to the amount of time that you work, and your focus. Being very focused on what it is that you're going to do. Those are the keys to success. And so if you're going to be a success, then the best time to start is now. They say the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. That was the first best time to plant a tree. The second best time to plant a tree is right now. So if in your life you want to reap the benefits, reap the fruit of success, then whatever you started 20 years ago, that's what you need to continue doing. Or you need to start doing something now that you can reap the benefit, the fruits of your labor, the fruits of your success, 20 years from now. All right, those are my thoughts. Peace.